This is the Hummel cassette tape, specifically my band's second LP, Generational Trauma. If you're my age, you probably haven't had much experience with these, especially if you, like me, have grown up on Spotify, or Apple Music if you hate yourself. These have been largely phased out, and for good reason. Why would you go through the hassle of buying a tape deck, and then wiring up the tape deck, and then cleaning the tape heads, and then finding or making cassettes, and then listening to it, only for the quality to be less, and the higher upfront cost to be through the roof? It just doesn't make any sense when we exist in a world of streaming. However, there's one factor that really influences the reason that you should own at least a little bit of physical media, and that's the entire idea of owning. If you're watching this video, chances are you have streamed some sort of content in the past, future, or present. In fact, you are literally streaming this video right now. There's a big difference between the concept of streaming and the concept of owning. Where owning is you have it on your shelf or in a drawer in a cabinet somewhere. Streaming is just pulling from an external server. An airplane flying by right now. When you access a song on Spotify, all you're doing is accessing a file stored on someone else's computer, probably overseas, that is sent to your computer over the internet. You don't own that song. All you do is own the rights to download it from this server temporarily. For most people, this is fine. Why even care if you need to own the music if you can just download and stream it anyways? Especially now that we're in the AirPods era, as I like to call it, where everyone just has earbuds all the time and everyone's just streaming music like it's nothing. Like it's just an effortless act that takes 3 seconds to pull up Spotify and connect your earbuds. Because honestly, that's what it is right now. And I take advantage of it just as much as everyone else on the face of the earth. I really appreciate, from a consumer perspective, music being effortless to stream whenever and wherever. And from an artist's perspective, it makes it so much easier to reach a mass audience of people where you really couldn't do that back before streaming era. So do not take this video as me hating on streaming, because I do love it. Allow me to introduce you to Hush Money, a little local band based out of Blue Ridge, Georgia. I am not at all affiliated with them. I just purchased one of their CDs on a whim from a record store up in the mountains. I don't even have a CD player, so why did I go about doing this when I could have just pulled it up on Spotify? Well, despite the cover art being absolutely sick, I just felt the need to support like a local band because that's what I am. I'm a local band. It only cost like $15, but the return on investment of actual worth was way above 15. The particular store I bought this from is run by an old woman who really hasn't missed a day of work in about 20 years, which is terrifying. She and the band have a relationship, and every time a customer purchases a t-shirt, a CD, a vinyl, she will take a picture of them and send it to the band as kind of a, hey look who just supported you. This act of physically buying the disc made me actually feel something, as opposed to just, pressing a button and music comes out of your speakers. The economy is scary, especially Fortune 500 tech companies. Spotify as a company didn't even turn a profit until 2019, and they are the biggest name in music streaming right now. Even though you pay for Spotify Premium 1 month, there's no guarantee that the next month there's even going to be a Spotify, or an iTunes, or an Amazon, Deezer, whatever you use. There's no guarantee that next month it's even going to be around. And that is the scary part of paying to access a catalog rather than paying for the music. At any time, Spotify or Apple can just take down a song that it doesn't think is right. This has happened to me personally because they've just failed to upload one of my songs. It wasn't anyone's fault, it was just an issue with uploading whatever. But that still pushed back an important release date for me for multiple weeks, where I had no control over the process besides frantically contacting someone all the way overseas trying to get my song out. That's another big reason why you should own at least a little bit of music, because regardless of what happens with those companies, if you own the music, they can't take it away from you. One major worry about owning all this physical media is, what if it gets damaged? What if it gets rained on or melted, which is actually a thing that can happen apparently. But what if it gets damaged? What happens? I don't want to spend $15 on the same thing if I've already bought it and just something happens. Well, let me raise you this. If you had a cell phone and you dropped it, you would probably buy a new one, and that's going to be another $1,500. If a piece of music is so special to you that it's just worth 1/10 of the value of a smartphone, then you'd probably put in the extra $15 to go replace your favorite album if it gets damaged. And if it wasn't your favorite album and you don't want to pay the $15 for it, then there's still the backup option of Spotify, unless it collapses. One less important but still cool advantage to owning just a little bit of physical media is the hardware for listening to it. Because you cannot seriously tell me that this cassette deck right here, doesn't look absolutely awesome. Let's play a game. How much did I pay for it? It was $15 at a thrift store. I got this for $15 at a thrift store. And it's not even like it's a bad one either. This is a really good machine. It's a little old, obviously. They stopped making them, but it's a good machine that does not damage my tapes. There's no issues with this machine whatsoever. And I have it where I can record to it and I can record off of it so I can just do casual listening. It's cool. It is unironically really cool, and that's why I like this thing so much, because it was only 2 hours of minimum wage. It would be dumb to do a segment on physical media without talking about vinyls and record players and all of the cool aesthetics that come from owning one. The technology behind vinyl and record players is objectively cool, and it's gotten a lot cheaper. I bought both of these each for less than $100, and they have okay sound quality. If you plug in better speakers, it becomes better, but besides the point, you can still buy one of these and have a very listenable experience listening to vinyl. Overall, I think physical music is unbelievably important, especially when you're trying to support artists directly, whereas streaming just pays them royalties on the side. While it might not be feasible for everybody, I still think getting into the cassette game, which has an entry cost of little as like $20, $10 for a cheap deck and $10 for a cheap cassette, you can have a foray into the world of physical music, and it really is a special place to be, especially going to local stores and paging through records and tapes and even CDs nowadays. Plus, there's no censorship, and Spotify or Apple can't just decide they want to take down an entire album because they don't like it personally, and that is pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this short little video. Kind of just wanted to talk about it, also for a school project. So go out to your local store, get some tapes, get a little deck. You can order them cheap on Amazon, little portable ones, and have some fun with physical music and really support the artists you love. Alright, that's it. Go subscribe.